Hello and welcome to Lesson 8, page 72. This is the song titled Summer is Over in our Level 1 book. And we have something brand new to learn in Summer is Over. But before we do that, let's talk about what else we're reviewing. We had just learned the note F a couple of songs ago. Remember, F is the first space of our treble staff right here. And we're using the notes C, D, and E as well. But we do have something brand new we're going to talk about in our song after we review our cymbals. Up first is our treble clef. Remember, the treble clef means right hand because this is right hand music. Going to use the same exact fingering we have been for the past three songs with 4 fingers on C, D, and F. C, D, E, and F like this. Or I'm going to use my 5-finger pattern with my side of my thumb on middle C there. Okay, our 5-finger pattern is something you can ask your teacher about. They will help you with your hand position on that a little bit more in detail, but I do encourage you to start to try it. Okay, so we talked about our treble clef. Let's next talk about this. This is our time signature. We've been talking a lot about our time signatures. Remember, the top number means that it tells us how many beats are in a measure. So there's going to be 4 beats in each measure. And the bottom number tells us what type of note gets a beat. And a 4 means a walk note or a quarter note equals 1 beat. So there needs to be at least 4 beats in each measure, and it needs to equal a walk note. So let's check measure 1. How many beats is a running note worth? It's actually worth 1 beat. Hey, this is the first example of a measure not following the rules of our time signature. Remember, our rule book says there needs to be 4 beats in every measure. So what is going on here? Well, this is what we call in the Mayron Cole book a split measure. We got a couple other names for it too. They call it a pre-measure 1. I like to call them pickups to the song. But let's start by just calling it a split measure. As the Mayron Cole book does. Look what it says here. The missing beats are in the last measure of the piece. So wait, this is worth 1 beat. So we still need 3 beats for it to equal 4. Let's go to the last measure, measure 8. We have a dotted half note worth only 3 beats. So the missing beats are back here in measure 1. A pickup or a split measure can be something that's a little tricky to understand at first, but I'm going to do my best to explain it the way that I was taught it as well. And it means that we're coming in on a different beat of the song. You might think, well, what could that mean? Well, remember, students, there's 4 beats in every measure. So if I was to count out measure 1, I would say 1, 2, 3, 4. You see how this running note is on beat 4? Well, guess what? This running note here is also on beat 4 because we're missing 3 beats. So if I was counting you into this song, I might say 1, 2, 3. And there's beat number 4 to come in on. 1, 2, 3. C, C, F, 2, 3. 4 and F, 2, 3, 4 and. So it's a pickup to the song, which means we're not starting on beat number 1 like we have in all of our other music up to this point. We're starting on beat 4. So your teacher is going to count you into the song a little bit differently. They might say 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. C, C, F, we would start our song. And that's how a split measure works. It takes some less beats that's required from our time signature, and it might start on a different beat. Okay? So as we play more split measures and talk about them, they'll begin to make a little more sense. I bet you're going to be able to play this one no problem to start our song today. So looking at the first line, we're just bouncing back and forth between C and F. The only real challenge is coming in on the correct beat of this song, our split measure. And today I'll count you into that measure by saying 1, 2, 3. And we'll do C, C, F, 2, 3. Okay? So let's try that first line together nice and slow. 1, 2, 3. C, C, F, 2, 3, C, C, F, 2, 3, C, C. Excellent job. Looking at line number 2, we just still bounce back and forth between F and C. So we have F, C, C, F, running, hold, 2, 3, and then another set of running notes. So still just using only the notes C, middle C, and F in our second line. 1, 2, 3. I'll slow it down a little bit and let's try the second line together now. 1, 2. Here we go. Play F, C, C, F, C, C, F, 2, 3, C, C. Great work. Now the third line, we see more notes finally for the first time. We do F, E, D, C, kind of like in the first song we played, Running Around, that reviewed the notes F. It did this a bunch. And then we do F, E, D, C, C at the end with our running note. So let's try the third line together. We're just going down the notes. Okay, we're going to slow that down. 1, 2. Here we go. Play F, E, D, C, measure 6. F, E, D, running. Great work. And moving on to the last line, we kind of have the same exact thing that we were playing in measures 3 and the first part of measure 4. There's our missing beats from our split measure at the end with that dotted half note. And we have F, C, C, F, C, C, and then we play F for 3. So let's try the last line together nice and slow, and then we'll try the whole song. 1, 2, last line, play. F, C, C, F, C, C, F, 2, 3, and then we're off. Because only 3 beats at the end there. The missing beats were at the beginning of our song. Okay, let's go back to the beginning of our song. Remember to count in. I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, and then we'll play C, C, F. So let's try that nice and slow together. 1, 2, 3, C, C, F, 2, 3, C, C, F, 2, 3, C, C, F, C, C, F, C, C, F, 2, 3, C, C, F, E, D, C, F, E, D, C, C, F, C, C, F, C, C, F, 2, 3, and off. Congratulations on completing the song Summer is Over, and I will see you on the next song.